YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back right after day one with a day two mock draft. We're going through rounds 2 and 3. I can't believe the talent that is still available. A lot of first round talent in my eyes. We'll talk about those players when we get there. So it's going to be very interesting. We've seen a lot of reaches yesterday, a lot of teams reaching for players. We've seen plenty of it, actually, and that's the reason these guys are here. You know, some of them have some concerns, I guess, but most of them are here just because teams are reaching for needs, reaching for players. So, I guess thanks to those teams for some of you fan bases out there, because you have a chance to get a round 1 player in rounds 2 or even 3. So let's start with, oh, and by the way, I have a grades video and a recap video out there, so hopefully you guys can check that out. And you're going to want to follow us on Twitter for the rest of the draft, and we're going to be having much more of these videos come out. So let's start at the top here. It sounds like the Cardinals are going to go Byron Murphy, the cornerback from Washington. So that's what I'm hearing. So I'm kind of basing it off that. They had a first-round grade on him. They did not expect him to be here. And then the whole Patrick Peterson situation. So right now we're expecting that pick. They could trade back. The Colts take A.J. Brown. I had a first-round grade on him, the wide receiver from Ole Miss. Really, I think is a safe pick. He's a do-it-all receiver, can play in the slot, can play outside. The reason why he's here is just because the reaches and all the defensive talent push these receivers down. So the Colts with 3 picks tonight, just in the second round, should be very interesting. So A.J. Brown will be a hell of a pick there. The Raiders take Greedy Williams, cornerback from LSU. I don't know how Greedy Williams is here. I just don't know how he's here. First-round talent, in my opinion. His potential, his upside is through the roof. He was already a freak athlete and a playmaker. I think he fits any defense. It's crazy that he's here. Really, a lot of these guys at the top, it's crazy. Like DK Metcalf, crazy that he's here. Freak athlete with good size. I figured some teams would just fall in love with him enough for the first round, but I'm sure there's still teams that, are in love with the idea of his upside, I guess. The Niners, I don't see them being able to pass here on DK Metcalf. The Seahawks take Cody Ford. I'm not sure how Cody Ford's here either. Can play tackle, can play guard. The Seahawks definitely can, if they can grab another one of those guys to help out Russell Wilson. The Jaguars take Hakeem Butler, the receiver from Iowa State. This is a type of receiver Nick Foles needs. The Jaguars need in general. They've been lacking this type of receiver here. The Buccaneers take Juwan Taylor. Juwan Taylor was if you watch the stream, he was my best available player on the board for a very long time, and I was very confused, but it's coming out that he has a knee injury. I don't know how serious it is. I mean, he showed up at the draft. I'm sure he got feedback on what's going on, so I would think he's okay. He's my number 6 player in the draft. He's an excellent right tackle, and that's what the Buccaneers could use for the future. Kind of curious to know more about his knee. The Bills take Dalton Risner, another potential first-round pick. Can play tackle or guard. He can help protect Josh Allen. Next few picks. Broncos take Drew Lock. I'm just mind-blown that Drew Lock is still on the board. Daniel Jones was pick 6, and then Drew Lock is undrafted through the first round. It's pretty ridiculous. A lot of upside for him. He was my number 2 quarterback in the draft. The Broncos didn't like him enough to take him, really with 2 chances, because they had pick 10. They traded back and they didn't take him. So they had 2 chances. They didn't like him enough. So will they like him enough here? It's a serious question. The Bengals go Mac Wilson. They go for need here at linebacker. The Lions also go for need. And a guy that was getting some first-round talk in Rock Ya-Sin from Temple. The Packers didn't grab an offensive lineman in the first, and they grab one here in Eric McCoy, who also had some first-round talk, can be a guard for them, but also has a center background. Same situation for Elgin Jenkins, guard/center. The Rams really could use either. I see him replacing Saffold. He's the offensive lineman from Mississippi State, so the Rams did trade back as we kind of thought could happen. The Colts go Jalen Ferguson, edge rush from Louisiana Tech. This is a guy, to me, I'm kind of just predicting the Colts to like him a lot, and I think other teams will too, but they may have tried to trade for Frank Clark, so this can be a guy that they get instead. The Panthers shown strong interest in Greg Little over this process, and they can still end up with him here at the 47th pick. So that'd be pretty good for them. I like that. The Dolphins, I'm going Yanni Kajust, offensive line West Virginia, because they got that defensive lineman. They need to protect whoever their quarterback's going to be. But the reason I have this pick number highlighted in blue is because they definitely could trade it. I've had this trade in my last few mocks, and it's the trade for Josh Rosen. I came up with the 2nd and a 5th. I'm sticking to that. So if they do trade it, the Cardinals, actually, after looking through this, the Cardinals could actually go with a guy like Yanni Kajus because they got their quarterback, they got their cornerback, and now they need to make sure Kyler Murray is protected. So I believe they would actually strongly consider Yanni Kajus too. So the trade could happen. I kind of want to give you guys both looks here because I don't want to start making trades on day 2 and just completely butchering this. But yeah, I like Yanni Kajus on either of the picks. There's some guys coming up that I could like for the Cardinals too. We'll talk about those. So it's definitely a trade to look out for. Next few picks. Juan Thornhill to the Browns. I've had this for a while. I think it's a good fit. Good Jabril Peppers replacement. The Vikings go Charles Omenihu, defensive lineman, Texas. That's their type of defensive lineman. He'll slide in and kind of replace Sheldon Richardson's spot. I don't know if they'll be able to pass on him. Maybe they had a hard time passing on defense in the first round. The Titans go Deebo Samuel. Excellent value here. They went defense in the first. They need to get some help on offense to score more points because sometimes they struggle to do so. Deebo Samuel, excellent receiver here. The Broncos get a Chris Harris replacement. We'll see if he gets traded today. Julian Love is the closest thing to Chris Harris out of these remaining corners. Maybe there's ones that you consider better, but the closest in terms of play style, Julian Love from Notre Dame. The Eagles go Taylor Rapp, a first-round grade from me for Rapp. And the Eagles get him down here, too good to pass. They take him. The Texans got an offensive lineman in the first. They'll grab 2 playmakers here in the second. Jawan Williams, cornerback from Vandy, I view as a fit, lengthy corner. And then the Texans grab Paris Campbell, wide receiver from Ohio State. Definitely another weapon for him. Will Fuller hurt. They also lost Demaryius Thomas, who they traded for, so they think they need another receiver. Paris Campbell can help them out a lot. Patriots get their tight end, Irv Smith Jr. here. I think he falls a little bit because the other talent available, but there could be more reaches. You never know. I expect more, really. So Patriots get their tight end there. That works out for them. The next picks, the Eagles, it's too good to pass point here. Ja'Kai Polite, they're always looking for, pass rush depth. It's a big reason why they won the Super Bowl the one year. Ja'Kai Polite, too good to pass here. Had first round potential because his pass rush ability is the edge rusher from Florida. Cowboys need a safety. Which one? That's the big question. I went to Nasir Adderley from Delaware. Safeties are dropping as I kind of expected a little bit. The playmaking safety goes to the Cowboys. The Colts grab a corner now and Trayvon Mullen from Clemson. Chargers, there's 3 corners in a row. Chargers grab a corner. They could definitely use a guy as well. Lonnie Johnson Jr. from Kentucky. Very good length, good in pass coverage. Could work on his tackling a little bit. The Chiefs get one of my favorite players in the draft, and Sean Bunting, the corner from Central Michigan. I think a good fit. Best corner on the board at this point for sure. The Saints take Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They can use him as a weapon on defense. He can play free safety. He can play in the slot. The Chiefs possibly replace Tyreek Hill with all the nonsense going on. And McCole Hardman, the closest thing to Tyreek Hill at this point of the draft. In the whole draft, it would have been Marquise Hollywood Brown. But they get Hardman here, the receiver from Georgia. And the Patriots, a too good to pass point and somewhat of a need. Draymond Jones from Ohio State. And that tops off the second round. And then we're going to get on to the third round here. A lot of good players still there. Cardinals take Terry McLaurin, so now they get a receiver that they need, a guy that can play in a slot, play outside, really help Kyler Murray out. Steelers need a right tackle. They get David Edwards from Wisconsin for that. The Niners still need a safety. Deontay Thompson is a second-round grade for me. They grab him. The Jets passed on Josh Allen in the first, but took a great player in Quinnen Williams. They need that pass rusher. Christian Miller, teammate of Quinnen Williams, is definitely worthy of the pick here. The Jaguars need a tight end for Nick Foles. They grab Sternberger, who could potentially be a second-round pick. The Bucs need that pass rusher for their new defense. Chase Winovich still on the board. The Broncos take Blake Cashman, linebacker from Minnesota. Vic Fangio-type guy. Could be Jermaine Pratt as well. Bengals grab Will Grier. I think it's a fit. He'll back up Dalton until he's ready to start. The Patriots take Justin Lane, cornerback from Michigan. Patriots got good starters for corners, but they definitely need depth, and Lane is a guy with a lot of upside there. The Bills take Calvin Harmon, receiver for NC State. Best body control and one of the best hands in the draft. He drops because the receivers are dropping and because you would like to see more inside the number routes from him. Maybe that's why DK Metcalf is dropping. The Packers finally grab a receiver here. They take Riley Ridley. Somewhat similar to Calvin Harmon, going to work the sidelines, can block too as well. Another receiver off the board. The Redskins get their quarterback. They also get their pass rusher. Dwayne Haskins needs some targets. I love what the Redskins are doing. If you watch the recap video and my grades video, you know that I really love what the Redskins are doing, but they have the worst receiver unit in football. Dwayne Haskins needs some targets. It'd be something if they can get Paris Campbell or Terry McLaurin. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside could be the pick here. Maybe they want a little more shifty guy here too. That's possible. Panthers take a corner in Amani Aruarie. Could be safety, but maybe a little early for the remaining safeties here. The Dolphins get that edge rusher now. They get the interior guy. They can possibly trade for Rosen or get that offensive lineman, but they get the edge rusher here. O'Shane Zimmon has a lot of upside out of him, in my opinion. They get him at 78. 79, the Rams take Jermaine Pratt. They've been lacking a linebacker like this. He's a do-it-all linebacker, probably my favorite player in the draft in terms of day 2 and on. So the Rams get a good one here. The Browns could use another corner. They grab David Long from Michigan, could potentially play in a slot. The Vikings grabbed an offensive lineman in the first. I had him passing in the second, but they grab Chuma Odego at the 81st pick, offensive lineman from USC. Odoga. I messed up his name the first time I said it. Chuma Odoga. There we go. That's who the Vikings grab. He'll play tackle for them. He may not start right away, but I think he's a third-round pick. 82nd pick, Titans take Connor McGovern, offensive lineman from Penn State. They need that guard/center type guy in there. They liked Elgin Jenkins, but he'll be off the board in my opinion, so they grab another guy like that in Connor McGovern. Steelers take Isaiah Johnson, cornerback from Houston. They still need a corner. They get a physical one with a lot of upside here in Isaiah Johnson. The Chiefs grab Amani Hooker, the safety from Iowa, to pair with Tyrann Mathieu. The Ravens need another pass rusher. A lot of question marks at their current pass rushers besides Judon. And they grab the speed rusher with a lot of upside in Ben Benogu. The Texans take DeAndre Walker, another edge rusher here. They need one here. The situation with Clowney, I think they'll definitely hold on to him, obviously, with the first round through. But Walker has a ton of upside. He really wasn't used purely as a pass rusher, so used in the right way, he can have a lot of production. The Bears take Darrell Henderson, running back from Memphis. A lot of Miles Sanders talk too, but to me, Darrell Henderson's the much better running back and what the Bears need here. The Lions take Drew Samia from Oklahoma. He'll play guard for them, potentially could start right away. The Colts take Will Harris, pair him with Malik Hooker. Will Harris, the safety out of Boston College. I like him at strong safety. Cowboys take Kalen Saunders, defense line in Western Illinois. Too good to pass. They could definitely use a D lineman too. He's an impressive guy. I would like that pick. Chargers need another offensive lineman. Bobby Evans could potentially play right tackle for them, the offensive lineman from Oklahoma. Seahawks need another receiver. Doug Baldwin in his future's in question still. Stanley Morgan Jr. to me is a second-round player. I like him a lot. Can't wait to see who grabs him. And then the last picks here. Jets take Savion Smith, cornerback from Alabama. They definitely need a corner. The Rams take Miles Sanders. He could go in the 4th round. I'll be okay with it. I'm hearing some 3rd-round talk. I also hear the Rams like Justice Hill. So 2 really different running backs that they like. We'll see which one they go with here. The Giants take Tavon Coney, linebacker from Notre Dame. The Redskins go with Andy Isabella. So another receiver. So they get Arcega Whiteside for the outside. Isabella is the shifty guy. They can play inside, help Dwayne Haskins out a bunch. Patriots grab that edge rusher in Joe Jackson from Miami. Jaguars get an offensive lineman, Michael Dieter from Wisconsin. The Rams, not a huge need, but it's something they can get better at with Dawson Knox from Ole Miss. He's a very good run blocker and definitely a receiving threat. Panthers take Miles Boykin. They need a receiver on the outside like this. The wide receiver from Notre Dame has speed and size. The Patriots take Jarrett Stidham. I'm expecting them to grab Stidham or Ryan Finley. Stidham with a ton of upside, especially learning behind Brady. I would love that pick, the quarterback from Auburn. And the Ravens take Nate Davis, offensive lineman from Charlotte. He's getting a lot of buzz. Could be the last pick here in the 3rd round. The Ravens need a left guard, potentially to start right away. We will see. So that is my day 2 mock. I'm sure teams will trade around and overdraft players, so that can mess my mock all up. But this is really about seeing who can fit where and what players teams could be looking at. So really enjoy doing these. Again, we have grades and a recap video. So 2 videos based off day 1. One's a little more in depth. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't yet. You're going to want to follow our Twitter. I'm going to live tweet the rest of the draft. Got a lot of videos working on about the more important part to me in rounds 2 through 7. A lot of work to be done with those rounds, talking about, winners, losers, how teams fared. So, you're going to want to follow our Twitter. We're going to live tweet as much as we can. Click that like button. Subscriber goal is 20K. More videos to come on the draft. Cannot wait for the rest of the draft. There's a lot of very good, talented players remaining. So this is going to be very interesting. I expect definitely more movement. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.